This is my backend service project, and the service I chose is Jenkins. What is Jenkins and what does it do? Jenkins is an open source automation server written in Java. It is used to automate the software development process via continuous integration and facilitates continuous delivery. How does Jenkins do it? In a continuous integration cycle, Jenkins is acting as the central tool for automating the cycle. After developers commit changes to the source code repository like GitHub, as the continuous integration server, Jenkins checks the source code repository at irregular intervals and pulls any newly available code and run tests against them. It will use a build server like Maven to build the code into an executable file. For example, the Java file will be converted into the jar file. In case the build fails, which means the code does not pass the test, feedbacks will send back to the developers. Jenkins then deploys the build application onto test server for testing and executing specific test scripts. If the test fails, feedbacks is immediately passed on to the developers. These test scripts can be written in Selenium and also others. Both Maven and Selenium are plugins that run in Jenkins environment. If there is no errors, the test application is then deployed onto the production server. Here, let's see an example of Jenkins. After we installed Jenkins on our Linux server, we will have this web page. Here is 2 Jenkins jobs I created to practice. On the left-hand side, we can see all the build history. First, let's see the last build I have in this job. In the console output, and here we can see it prints hello world. And this is my GitHub, and if I make some change, while we are waiting, this is my configuration of this hello world job. I set this job to be a GitHub project with my GitHub URL, and I set the source code management to Git with my repository clone link, because it is using Git to fetch the source code, and our AWS Linux distribution does not have Git installed by default, so I installed Git by myself. And I set the build trigger to pull SCN with 5 stars in the schedule. What does it mean? It means it will try to pull new changes from GitHub every minute. If there is any change, it will create a new build. But if there is no change, it will not build. And this is the build section. Because my Jenkins is installed on Linux, so I will use shell command instead of the Windows bash command. Here on the left hand side, we can see the 15th build is automatically generated by our job. And in the console output, we can see it's showing the last line I just uncommented. Okay, thank you. This is all I want to present.